Yesteryear's Detroit, verbal communion cups were given out 7 days a week on every side of town. We wrote, we spoke, we laughed, we cried, we shared. It wasn't about the affirmation of hand claps, but the affinity of sharing life's journey on and off the mic. It was about discovering a new way to listen to God, the camaraderie of rich voices, and how much you can learn about yourself through listening to someone else's poem. You know, one day I met the famous poet Lucille Clifton. I asked her, like, how do you go about writing poems? And she said, well, Con, I think a lot about a word. And I told her, hey, I have a whole Detroit family of poets that think a lot about words, and we found kinship in words and salvation in words and healing and understanding through words. I miss my man David Blair. The way he incorporated funk and metaphor, blues and transparency. His poetic baritone was a marvel superpower with the heart to match. I miss my girl Shantae Legacy Leonard. The way she used her pen and sword to hold open court on misogyny and accountability. The way she treasured community. I miss my guy Stephen Sparrow O'Neal. At one point or another, he put the battery in the back of every poet he met. He was trying to start a poetic revolution back when I was just trying to find myself through the day. I didn't know Kelly Mays the way many of you did. But my boy Dean told me she was his godmother of poetry. And damn it, if somebody puts the word God in your prefix, that just shows me what you mean to community. Detroit Poetry family, I love y'all. Because you saw the best parts of me at times when I didn't see it in myself. In the moments like this, where we come together to share inspiration and honesty and love through sounds and songs, will always be cherished. I don't get a chance to write poems at the volume I did because I got like 1,900 different jobs. But I make it a point that when Phoenix asks me to do something, I challenge myself to write something new. So we're gonna have some fun with this one. Numbers. Y'all should have seen these young brothers at the club. Razor sharp hairlines, sharp as cowboy boot spurs. Clothes, Somerset fresh, with an alphabet of LVs and H's and G's on every belt buckle. Illuminated tables in every section, bottles of champagne I can't even pronounce, they all look like Fortune 500s. And now the ladies, black girls over there on the dance floor. Some of the most beautiful black women you've ever seen. They were twerking and smirking, high-fiving and FaceTiming. There was a sexy red, a sexy blue, a sexy hue, ripping out the plastic, a Magnum brand new, they were bad. Each group, though, stayed separate in their own world of phones and friends. Like, the dance floor was only 5 feet away, but it might as well have been 5,000 feet away. And maybe I'm old, but see, in my era, when we went to the club, we got numbers. We were pen and paper gladiators, male assassins with number 2 pencils. Hey, cutie, you got the prettiest smile in all of the aisle. Can I have your phone number? We went up to girls with French rolls and the knee-long bobs and asked them for their phone numbers. Hey, you with the motion ring on. I need the motion those fingers to write your number so I can call you a little later. We got phone numbers. Hey, girl with the Sherwin. I know you said you got a man, but everybody needs friends, and I know you want more friends. We got phone numbers. Hey, cutie with the K-Swiss and the tennis skirt on. Can you write your number on my hand? In fact, I'll put it on my dome, call you 2 a.m. when you get home, and maybe bring you some Coney Island if you're home alone. We got numbers! But social media came, and human beings stopped human beings. Dudes with $1,000 glasses on but no confidence. Too scared to ask for your digits and look in your eyes. They'd rather stalk your IG page in disguise. Everyone is TikTok and stories and DMs and Snapchats. How did this generation get so stuck in this format? No game, no effort. Hiding behind the opulence in your section, bro. The ladies on the dance floor, quit being afraid of rejection. And so even to this day, I'll be out and somebody say, hey, Kyle, yeah, man, I met your wife. She's amazing. She's beautiful. How did you meet her? Well, 30 years ago, I got her phone number. talk about my grandparents, blacks who raised me. My grandmother was from Water Valley, Mississippi. My grandfather from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Like other millions of black folks that came to this city chasing the American dream in the early 1940s. And I kind of felt in all this newness and changing Detroit, like the elders kind of like really just get shitted on and get forgotten about. So I just want to put their story and the story of a lot of our parents and grandparents into this point. A blues, a Paradise Valley, and the black folks that came to Detroit during the Great Migration. The Paradise Valley photos were the best. Y'all should have seen my grandfather. Cigarette between the ones and the twos, pocket square, snug, crispy, next to a lapel with a single-breasted suit on. Head combed and curly like Nat King Cole. Wing tip, striped tie, martini glass, Henry the Hatter, 1940 swag. He was sharp. I'm talking lab, scissors, switchblade, tongue back, sharp. And the stories he told about the photos even better. Like the time he ran into Barry Gordy at Sonny Wilson's Cocktail Lounge. Now this was before Barry Gordy was Barry Gordy, but he was still talking all that record business, slick talk. My grandfather didn't believe him because Barry Gordy didn't know how to shoot no pool. And speaking of Sonny Wilson's Cocktail Lounge, he said the Forest Club brought in every blues and jazz legend from Ziggy Johnson to Cab Calloway. He said Sonny was a legend in Detroit, and the only reason he sold the Forest Club because he wanted to keep them rich white folks as his friends. And the blink of an eye, Paradise Valley and Black Bottom were gone. Call it urban renewal, gentrification, or modernization. It's just what happens when political agendas and white folks find value in things that don't belong to them. My grandfather moved and moved on. Toned down all those nights at the jazz clubs in exchange for a Midwest American dream he found in the Colonial on Detroit's west side, where Jews and whites were being scared off, and modern Southern gentlemen like my grandfather and his family were moving in. The realtors made a killing off white flight, but that's another point for another time. And speaking of time, my grandfather clocked Chrysler hours for 30 years until that 81 recession nudged him to walk away with his toolbox, his pride, and his pension. I think of that generation of men and women daily. Those parents and grandparents who paid tuitions, paid off mortgages, paid property taxes, raised kids, bailed out kids, took in your kids. They built this city. We owe them everything, but we give them nothing. They still got the best lawn on the block, the only house on the block, never stop praying for the block, even refusing to leave the block. But that block has become a glorified prison. Bars on every window, 22 caliber on the nightstand, padlocks, deadbolts, brinks, Guardian, Ring, ADT, you name it, they got it. Can't feel safe going into a store they've shopped at for years. Can't feel safe around kids whose parents they've known for years. Preyed upon during the 2007 mortgage crisis, were the biggest at risk during the 2020 COVID virus. Even the goddamn city wants to build a new Detroit on top of the people who built the old Detroit. So do me a favor. Next time you go in your old neighborhood and you see that old neighbor who lived in that old house since you've been 5 years old, man, cut their grass, shovel their snow, and say I love you. Thank you for everything.
Give it up for Khan, show him some love.